Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Allie Williams, Director of Marketing for Faith and Nonprofit here at Vanco, and we are so excited to hold this webinar for you. Simple strategies to turn new guests into regular attendees, to grow your member base, and increase giving. As you're coming in, feel free to write in the chat where you're tuning in from. We'd love seeing where you're tuning in from across the country, and we will get started in just a second. So today's session is going to focus on a critical and often overlooked part of the ministry growth journey, which what happens after someone visits your church for the first time. And we're going to talk about how to turn your one-time visitors into recurring attendees and ultimately into engaged giving members of your community. We know that these moments matter. You know, they're where first impressions become relationships, where connection becomes commitment. And we've seen time and again that small strategic changes in this middle of funnel stage can drive outsized results in generosity, in retention, and overall church health. So at Vanco, we help thousands of churches grow and build stronger connections every year. And through that work, we've identified 6 core steps that consistently drive results. Setting up easy to use giving tools, sharing giving links regularly and across channels, promoting recurring giving, telling stories about the impact that the giving makes, thanking givers and closing the loops with outcomes, and creating internal champions who model generosity. Today, we're going to zoom in on something that's often taken for granted, but something that can be the linchpin for all 6 of these steps. What happens after the first visit? What happens after that person walks through your doors for the first time? If you lose people in the so-called middle, then they never become givers, they never become volunteers, they never become community builders. So there is a gap that occurs between their first time visit and then actually becoming engaged members of your community. And so it's really critical to address that. So how do we fix it? Well, today we will be covering all of these things and more. I do want to introduce ourselves before we jump in. My name is Allie Williams. Like I said, I'm the Director of Marketing for Faith and Nonprofit here at Vanco. And I have spent almost 20 years working with churches and nonprofits, and faith-based organizations, helping them become equipped with tools that not only help them grow, but stay mission aligned while doing it. And later in the session, I'm going to be joined by Mike McDonald. Mike is on the marketing team here at Vanco. He specializes in bringing deep insight for churches into how to streamline their communication and deepen engagement. And he's going to walk us through some practical ways to apply what we're sharing today using the Vanco platform. So today we're going to unpack a few things in our time together. We're going to look at first how to make a lasting first impression, especially for guests who may be new to church altogether. Second, we're going to look at how to create structured follow-up systems that help guests feel seen and wanted. We'll also look at how to use email and SMS or text message outreach with intention, so not just as tools, but as touch points. And finally, we'll explore simple connection points that break the ice and open the door for deeper involvement. So whether you're a solo pastor, or leading a large team, these practices can scale to fit your context. Let's start with an honest look at the problem. So we hear from churches all the time, we have new people visiting, but they're not sticking around. What is going on? And often churches will chalk that up to things outside of their control, like people are just busy, maybe they're just browsing, or maybe they weren't the right fit for our church. But more often than not, it comes down to missed moments. So that could be a lack of follow-up or personalization, a service experience that didn't offer clarity or comfort, or even something as simple as no one invited them back or made them feel like they mattered. Retention isn't about pressure, but it is about purpose. So guests want to feel like they're not just welcomed once, but actually wanted again, and that's really key. So here are some quick gut check questions. Are new guests slipping through the cracks after their first visit? Does your follow-up feel rushed, random, or inconsistent? Are you depending on guests to do the follow-up work to just come back on their own? And are you struggling to connect new engagement to actual membership and giving? If the answer to any of those is yes, you're not alone. But it also means that you have a powerful opportunity to fix the gaps that are costing you these long-term relationships. Connection doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be consistent and intentional. So here's a simple, repeatable approach that works. You want to use email and SMS or text templates to welcome people, with a nice warm welcome and invite them to take next steps. You want to train volunteers, invest hospitality practices, so that their first impressions of your church aren't just friendly, but they're actually very thoughtful. You can also host informal gatherings that create relational bridges. So things like coffee meetups, welcome lunches, even Q&A sessions with your pastor. People find this really helpful and they appreciate it. Most importantly, you want to put a system in place. So it's great to do these things, but you don't want to do it sporadically. So don't leave the idea of connection up to memory or mood or just kind of when you feel like it. You want to automate it. So plan this out, delegate it to people on your team, and then track it, because the magic is in the follow through. So I'm going to break that down even further. These 5 keys here are foundational to any guest retention strategy. So number 1, first impressions matter. So think your signage, your greeters, your welcome team. These are your front line. Make sure they're not just friendly, but that they're actually intentional and that they're making connection. Number 2, effective communication. So your follow-up should happen quickly and feel human. So a thank you message within 24 hours can make a big difference as to whether somebody will come back. Number 3, you want to create connection opportunities. So don't assume that people will find their way in. Don't leave it up to chance. Give them spaces to ask questions, give them opportunities to ask questions, and to get to know your team. Number 4, you want to encourage next steps. Whether it's joining a small group, attending a new member lunch, or having an opportunity to serve, you want to guide people toward involvement. And if you haven't kind of formalized a next steps program or a next steps track, you want to think about doing something like that. Create it, make it more formalized, give people the chance to go through it. And that's something that you could, depending on your church size, do once a month. You could have someone go through a next steps track, or in whatever cadence and timing that works for you. Number 5, you want to make sure that you track engagement. So use tools that help you see who's responding and who may need another touch point. Sometimes people need multiple nudges to take that next step, and that's okay. So when you operationalize these practices, that's when connection becomes the norm and not just the exception. Okay, so let's be honest, doing all of this manually is exhausting. And most time, churches don't have the time, the people, or even the tech support to keep up. And that's why having the right platform in place matters. So Vanco makes guest engagement manageable by streamlining communication, which means that you can send email or text directly from your dashboard, automating follow-up, so no more forgetting who visited and when, equipping volunteers, with tools that they can actually use, and leveraging real-time data so that you can measure what's working and what's not. It's really all about working smarter, not harder, to make every guest feel known. Now that we've talked about strategy, let's take a look at how this platform actually works inside of Vanco. And so Mike's going to walk you through how churches are using their tools to follow up faster, to track engagement, and to build deeper connections. So Mike, take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Allie, for showing everyone all that great info and the importance of turning new guests into regular attendees and some different strategies that churches can utilize to create a welcoming environment and to turn newcomers and guests to their church events into long-term members. And so I wanted to dive a bit more into some post-event follow-up strategies, as well as some tools and templates you can utilize to effectively implement these strategies to help you turn guests from church events into regular attendees and to grow your member base and increase giving. And so to help you with some of these post-event transitions, I wanted to highlight a few templates that we've built for you for various types of events that could work as more of a transition from a lighthearted social gathering that maybe isn't heavily focused on faith and your ministry, moving people into more of a faith-based or ministry-related event. And so one type of event like this could be something like a meet and greet. This could be a casual setting where people can meet church leaders or maybe the pastor or the priest at your church and get to know a little bit more about your church and the faith and ministry elements of it. And so this first script here that you can see is a meet and greet invitation. And so this is something that your church could send out to guests that had attended a more community-based event, maybe a picnic or a barbecue or some type of social gathering. And this could help them take that next step with engaging more in faith-based activities with your church. And so it's a pretty simple template that thanks people for attending a previous event at your church, letting them know that they are welcome in the community and they'd love to get to know them better, and that you're inviting them to an upcoming church meet and greet. Again, it tells a bit more about what this type of event is. So it's a casual and friendly gathering where they can connect with other church leaders and members to learn more about your church community. Again, you can simply add dates, times, locations of the event. You could let them know if they need to bring anything, and then you can include a link to the event where people can register and sign up for that event. This next template option is something for more of a ministry event, and this could be utilized via text message or email. And similar to the last invite, it's thanking them for attending a previous event, and you're letting them know about an upcoming ministry event and how they can make a difference in the community. So again, maybe this is some type of service event, maybe it's an event where they can meet ministry leaders. You can highlight the date, time, and location, as well as maybe the focus of the event. So again, this could be something like helping families in need. Maybe it's a service event, so it's supporting the local food shelf, whatever the case might be. And again, you can include that link to register for the event. Another type of event that can work well is something like a Bible study. And so again, this could be done via text message. And we've got a couple options here of the invite itself, but then an option of what you can do if the person says they are interested in attending. So some very simple fill in the blank options here as well to invite someone to that next faith-based event after attending more of a community event, or maybe after they are a first-time visitor to your church. Again, I'll scroll through these a little bit quicker, but we've got a pastor meet and greet invitation, another type of ministry event invitation, another Bible study version, this time in email form. And we've also included some different invitations that could come from church members. And so this is another effective strategy to attract new guests to becoming full-time members throughout your church community, is that you have internal champions and excited members inviting friends and family that maybe aren't yet a part of your church community to take part in some more faith-based activities throughout your community. And so again, this Bible study group invitation is coming from the perspective of a church member inviting a friend or family member. We've got a text message option here as well as an email template, and then similar types of messaging related to inviting someone to a ministry event. So this could be a volunteer day or a fellowship night. And then we also have the option of inviting someone to a Sunday service or sermon. Same thing, we've got the text message template and the email template here as well. And so these are some great options you can utilize and templates that you can adjust to fit your church's brand and your messaging style. But these are some great options as follow-up tools to help turn someone from being a new visitor to your community for the first time, be it through a community-based event, or maybe just a new visitor that has visited your church for the first time, and you want to make sure that they become a deeper part of your community and to continue to engage with your church over the long term. And I know a great feature of our Vanco tools is that they do integrate with many of the most popular CHMS tools or CRM tools that you might be using throughout your church. And so you can utilize these templates there, but we also have some options to utilize it in our Vanco Events platform. And so if you're holding community-based events, utilizing Vanco Events, it can be a simple way to reach out to those attendees with these types of templates and messaging. And so I've hopped over here on our Vanco Events platform so you can see a bit more on how this works. And so the idea behind this is that you can actually create events in a matter of minutes. So let's say we just did a local ministry night. And you just simply add your info here. You can create your own venue or utilize a template that's already built, and our team can help you build these specific venues. But let's say we just do create a new venue here for this. We'll do Vanco Valley Church, and we'll just do general admission at this time. And then you can add a session. So let's say we just choose a session, and it ends that night as well. And you can list when people can start booking, and you probably want to have people to be able to show up right up into the event. So we say it goes 7 to 8, and then we'll end ticketing at 8 p.m. when the event is ending. Now we have a session set up. Now you can create the ticket. Again, you can do paid tickets if you'd like, or you can do a combination of both paid and free tickets on this paid option. I'll just do free for right now. And we'll go to add images. Now you can simply upload an image for the event. You could upload a wallpaper if you choose. We'll just keep it simple this time. And now you've got your event. And so you could take this URL link here and copy it, go back to our templates like we have here, and you could simply paste that link in the various options where you're inviting someone to attend one of these ministry events. So again, I could take this insert RSVP link here and simply just paste that here. Again, just fill in the rest of the blanks here as well, and you'll have a great email that you can send out. Another thing that you can do is that once you have a list of buyers from an event, you can actually send them an email. And so again, if we're using the example of a community-based event like a church barbecue, you could simply go to that event here in Vanco Events, find everyone listed, and then craft a new email to send to them. And again, just paste your template here that we've showcased on the webinar already, and then just update the blanks for whatever event you might be inviting someone to. Another option, for example, let's say we went to one of our community events like a harvest festival. Once we've selected that event, we could simply go to the email buyer section and utilize that here as well. And so there's a lot of different event types you could utilize to help bridge this gap from taking someone that's a new visitor to your church community to becoming a full-time member and attending their first sermon or ministry event. The key is to just outreach effectively and follow up effectively, but also create a variety of events that are faith-based, but also fun that you can effectively invite guests to that have attended past church events or attended a service for the first time. And Vanco Events is a great way to do that through both paid and free events, and it gives you some additional outreach features to quickly reach those that have attended events in the past in a bulk fashion to help save you time and effort. But with that said, I'm going to actually hand it back to Allie, and she's going to jump into a bit more on the process of getting started with some of these tools and how you can use these tools to maximize giving and engagement throughout your community.
Let's jump into how you can get started utilizing these tools and strategies to help accelerate growth and drive giving and engagement at your church. Now, obviously, there are a lot of different giving platforms available in today's market, and we know that many churches are already utilizing online giving. But if you're watching this and you aren't utilizing a giving platform currently, or maybe you're just looking to make a switch to a better option, let's talk about why you should choose Vanco. There are a lot of different reasons, but our top 10 include things like our white glove customer service and support, our free mobile church app, our enhanced giving pages and tiles, our multiple donation options, the fact that we have no long-term contracts, our complete data security, and the fact that we integrate seamlessly with over 60 church management systems. You'll also get quick access to donated funds. And we offer free launch materials and in-depth training to drive church growth. Plus, we have over 20 years of experience helping over 25,000 churches to grow giving and much more. Now, in addition to these great reasons, our team at Vanco put together 10 simple steps to boost engagement, maximize giving, and accelerate church growth. And with this simple framework, we can help turn your church into a thriving community. So the foundation of our process starts with setting up your online giving tools and giving pages, hosting community events and small groups to attract new members, effectively sharing your giving link online and with your community, promoting recurring giving to your members, showcasing stories and the impact your donations can make, thanking givers and providing updates on impact, creating internal champions, and maximizing fundraising efforts through simplifying capital campaigns and utilizing giving data to scale growth and increase retention. Overall, our goal here at Vanco is to help your church tell your story, share your story, foster generosity, and gain insights on the back end so you can make educated decisions to help you elevate your community's experience through effortless giving and enhanced engagement. Getting started with us is incredibly simple. To get started, you can connect with our team here at vancopayments.com or give us a call directly at the number you see here on the screen, and our team will be happy to help you build your optimized giving system today. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to working with you.